The end is near for the global economic parasite. And those words are from Vladimir Putin from Russia talking about the US. And right now, Russia's calling for the end of the dollar monopoly, something that I've covered many times before. Let's get into this information here. There's a lot to cover and very little time. The yuan ruble trade on the Moscow exchange has jumped tenfold this year to 749 million. And it's saying here out of Bloomberg, this is still a sliver out of that dollar for ruble sales, of course, and that's totally something that you can't deny. However, it's a growing number, something that I mention all the time. The dollar's not going to fall overnight. Don't listen to those individuals who say that. It simply does not happen like that. It will happen over time. It's a slow decay. There's much more information in this article you can read on for yourself. I'll mention just 2 points. One of them is Gazprom sales. China has agreed to prepay for supplies which are scheduled to start in 2018. And this is going to help the construction of the pipeline that will carry the fuel to the border. Pipelines are a big deal, particularly in the Middle East. You can see how they engage in wars just because of that. And to continue on, it says introducing yuan payments of the gas business would lead to an exponential rise in the trading in the Chinese currency in Moscow. That is massive news right there, where you have two partners that are just growing and growing and growing together, and this is ultimately pushing them further and further away from the West. At the bottom paragraph it says, under Putin, Russia has moved to end what he called the dollar monopoly, that's a quote, that allows the US to act like a global economic parasite. That's what he's talking about right here. And this is, again, big news because it means the death of the US dollar. And as I mentioned many times before, a slow and steady decay. But what has changed over these years? Why would Russia and China want to go away from the US dollar when it has been strong for so many decades? And what exactly has happened? Well, let's go back in the pages of history. This is out of my book, The Money GPS, showing you what money used to be, at least only a few years back. And these are silver certificates for your money. Your money was just a note saying that, you know, this belongs to you in the vault somewhere, and you're just going to take this piece of paper and you can bring it back and you can get your real money back. It's just coins are, you know, they're not really easy to carry around, so on and so forth. Take this piece of paper, we'll hold it in the bank for you, keep it nice and safe. That's what's changed. Real money no longer exists. And if you look at this, QE sets off a debt binge in emerging markets. You can see how the U.S. Reserve Bank credit is directly proportional to the external loans and international securities. That's what happens. It fuels a bubble. You don't know where that bubble is going to go. It could be in commodities. It could be in real estate. It could be anything. And we see these bubbles throughout the years, the tech boom, so on and so forth. But when you print money like crazy and you have low interest rates and you hand out free money to all your friends, well, then it creates bubbles somewhere out there. And you can see what it's doing with this debt binge in the emerging markets. It's causing a problem all over the world. And it's causing a problem, of course, on America's own shores. This is the share of low-wage paying jobs by country. Look at the United States leading the pack in low-wage paying jobs. Canada's not too far behind. Of course, Canadians, you have to worry about this right here, with as much of the jobs that are being created are low-wage. And of course, the UK is not too far behind, and Australia as well, Germany, many of the other countries here end up on this list. It's all low wage paying jobs because countries like Brazil, like China, are getting those manufacturing plants that are subsidized, of course, by the taxpayers in those Western nations. Here are the actual statistics right out of the Social Security Administration. Remember, once again, on the Money GPS, I give you the statistics right from the government websites. I do not make this stuff up. I show you the stats. You decide what you want for yourself. These stats here show you specifically that individuals in the United States are more poor today than they were back only a few decades ago. Here is the proof. Look at it for yourself. I'll move on quickly. This is finding a door into banking. Walmart prepares to offer checking accounts. Can you believe this? Walmart expanding their business just like GE Capital did, and look at what they're doing. They're creating more and more debt for individuals. They're basically exploiting this. They're going from their Walmart credit card, and now they're going to be offering checking accounts. And of course, the money is coming free. It's just growing off the trees. Might as well get into that business as well. But again, as I've talked about before, this is one article out of Bloomberg talking about NYC's most expensive condo to be listed at $130 million. This is something that's very interesting to me because it shows you that great divide that is being created where you have an evaporation of the middle class. Look at any third world country. You see something very, very particular, very specific, and that is there is no middle class. You have the very wealthy, you have the very poor, and you have basically nobody in between. And that is exactly what's happening to most Western nations, in particular the United States. And that's very evident in areas like New York. And you can see how some individuals are so poor on the food stamp program, requiring many different types of government programs in order to survive. And then you have a booming luxury real estate market. It doesn't make sense, and that's why you're having this disparity created. You need a strong middle class in order for the economy to thrive. That's not happening. Why? Because the Federal Reserve's policies, I've got into it before, the real money has fled, the real money is gone, and you need to be aware of that. If you found this informative, I hope that you will give me a thumbs up. I also wanted to just ask you guys your comments on this. Do you want me to do shorter videos, let's say the 3 to 5 minute range, or would you prefer something in a longer range, 8 to 10 minute range, or even greater? I'd like to hear what you think, because of course I would want to make the videos that you guys desire. So let me know if you have any comments, anything at all. Please list them below, or you can email me directly at david@themoneygps.com. And don't forget to become an insider. That's where all my best stuff is. It's totally free. It's at themoneygps.com. Scroll down to the bottom, fill in your email address, and you get occasional emails from me with good, short, concise info.